Hello, citizens of the world. We are anonymous. As time for World Cup approaches, we have witnessed a crescent frequency of hacking attacks for the anonymous ideal. Only for the last week, there were 2 invasions with big repercussion on the media. One that was the leaking of Itamaraty Palace documents, central to the Ministry of External Relations. Among these papers, the most are considerate sigilous. We'd like to clarify for what crescent cyberactivists apt in these ways. How many billions of dollars from public funds were spent to build and reform the stadiums that will host the Cup, aside other builds that will bring very little or no legacy to the population? Would this justify, for example, to build a new stadium at Manoa City, at state of Amazonas? In which ways were executed the fiscalization of how the public money is being used on these bills, principally the ones that need to be finished in matter of urgency due to delays, many times resulting by increase of costs? It's time that the cost of the stadiums have increased 163% compared to the initial prevists. It is valuable to remember that the PEMS included the private initiative would take the outgoing of building the stadiums. We can't accept pacifically anymore the violations on people's basic rights practiced because of this event. For preparation we can Texto. 1. Higienization and elitization of the cities, denominated to and for, above all, the property speculation and for the violence against the local population on scale of streets occupying the big centers. 2. Unjustifiable outlay to intensify the security and the repression against the manifestations that may happen during the games, alike to draft laws which marginalize and criminalize the manifestants. 3. To guarantee that no one, except for the locals and people with tickets, approach the stadiums on game days, aside the non-authorized vendors won't be allowed to open certain hours before and after the games, even that for this the freedom of come and go be limited, forbidding things like visits to the local people, among other situations. The online actions, just as the protests on the streets, are part of the resistance against this model that has become so evident to ordain and disordain of this mega corporation which is FIFA on this country, against the influence of economic power on political decisions and nationist polarization of the profit counterpointing that BSIC right of the whole population, and, therefore, illegitimate. There is no fairness on following unfair laws, said Darren Sadwards, infamous programmer and fighter for a free internet. About the cybernetic security on Brazil, right after the leaks Edward Snowden revealed, National Security Agency, NSA, ex-functionary, department which would be monitoring the Brazilian government, which got to an inquiry parliamentary commission, CPI, to be open to investigate the case, which is already closed, with the most obvious conclusion. There is vulnerability in the whole cybernetic governmental system, clearly for lack of investment. The Itamaraty cybernetic defense, responsible for Brazilian cybernetic security, that their amount cut for years, about $49.5 million in the year of 2012, 40 million last year and 31 million in this very year, even after Snowden's leaks. The eyes of the world will be turned to Brazil. We will show to everyone how fake is and always was this Brazilian government and FIFA. We are anonymous. We do not forgive. We do not forget. Expect us.